Hello, I'm Mar DiCarlo. Welcome to How to Become a Holistic Child Sleep Consultant. I am the founder of the International Parenting and Health Institute, which I founded in 2009 and is currently represented in 61 countries around the world. We offer certification programs in integrative adult sleep coaching, holistic pregnancy and child sleep consulting, baby planning, pre and postnatal nutrition coaching, eco consulting, and integrative breastfeeding education. I am also the founder of the Association of Professional Sleep Consultants, which I founded in 2011, and it represents sleep professionals around the world. And I'm also the author of 3 books. The most relevant one to today's presentation is Awakening Through Sleep, a transformational and spiritual guide to pregnancy, adult, and child sleep. I wanted to take an opportunity to put together this program for all of you because the sleep consulting industry has been growing over the last few years. It's been around for a little bit of time, but over the last few years, the certification programs are growing and the kinds of training programs that are available are very different. And so I wanted to take an opportunity to share with you what are some of the things to look out for, what it actually takes for you to be successful. So these are some of the common questions that we get. And although I am the founder of the International Parenting and Health Institute and of adult sleep coaching certification program and a holistic pregnancy and child sleep consulting program, our program may not be a fit for you. You may find that there is another program out there after you go through my presentation that better represents what you're looking for. So that is why I'm taking this opportunity. I'm very passionate about ensuring that when professionals embark on a journey to start, expand, grow their business, that they're very clear about what is involved and that they are providing their clients the best service. Being on both the end of coaching, I've been coaching for over 25 years. So I've been a business owner for quite some time, but I also have been coaching for a very, very long time. And I've also been on the client side. And so from both ends, I understand what can happen when things are not clear, when there's miscommunication, and so on. At the same time, I also was a group exercise manager, a fitness manager. I have experience on the management side of things and on the business side of things. I also worked for the Small Business Development Center, represented in Marin, and I supported many businesses and coached them through their various business challenges that they faced. The goal and the intention of this presentation is to help you get very clear about what is involved, what is this industry all about, is this really a fit for you, and what does it actually take? What does it take for you to be successful? So let us begin. For this first module, we're going to cover the opportunities, role, and responsibilities of a holistic child sleep consultant. We're going to cover the key opportunities, the roles and responsibilities. We're going to explore what to consider, what is involved, the investment, and how to choose the right program so you can make an informed decision. Okay, so the opportunities you can help parents and children understand sleep, child sleep development, develop healthy habits for the whole family. You can help educate parents on child sleep needs, how their own sleep habits directly impact their child's sleep, and non-sleep training effective approaches. And then you can improve the overall family well-being. So through a holistic team-based approach, you can help parents and children get better quality and quantity of sleep for improved health, behavior, focus, and happiness. As a holistic child sleep consultant, you can empower families to optimize their and their children's sleep, understand sleep science and sleep developmental process, uncover the root cause of what is getting in the way of optimal sleep, establish healthy sleep habits, and meet the sleep needs of their children. This will improve the overall well-being of the family. Now, how does this distinguish from mainstream and non-holistic sleep consulting? The main difference is that mainstream approaches are generally child-centered focused, meaning that all of the attention is just on the child. They don't really put much of the attention on the parent's physical, emotional well-being, and therefore they really do not evaluate a parent's lifestyle and their health. They will just remain focused on the child. In addition to that, the majority of mainstream approaches that are non-holistic are cookie cutter and a one-size-fits-all. So they rarely customize and adapt to each family's unique situation. And what they'll do is they'll just take the child sleep challenge at hand, they'll apply it to what they've learned in the methodology that they've learned, and then they will fit it in as best as they can with very minimal customization. The role of a holistic child sleep consultant will be one that involves the following. Now, our organization utilizes the holistic science of sleep method. And so I'm going to share that with you today so that those of you that may hear of other holistic sleep approaches can also understand the similarities and differences as well. This is a method that I have developed that allows us to understand the science side of things, as well as the health and lifestyle, the practicality and reality of things, in addition to inviting one's own inner guidance. So the consultations will involve active listening, gathering information that affect all areas of sleep. So this is going to include evaluating the wheel of health and lifestyle. We look at the physical, the mental, and emotional health, lifestyle, and we do this through a questionnaire, information gathering, but it's very interactive. So you will have a questionnaire that is already set up, but then when you are setting up your first consult with your client, you're going to begin customizing your questions based on their specific circumstances, right? So you're going to have a standard questionnaire, and then based on their specific circumstances, you will begin to customize questions surrounding that. You're going to help your clients identify their goals, okay? And you do this by discussing their overall goals in terms of sleep, addressing their initial achievable goals, right? And this is usually if it's for child sleep consulting that we're talking about today, then it will be related more to the child. However, where the holistic part comes in is that if we see, which usually is the case, a parent is extremely sleep deprived, they get frustrated very easily, they're very hard on themselves, then the goals that we will help them identify will also include helping the parents care for themselves, helping them self-regulate, helping them with tools that they can begin utilizing instantly that will help them stay grounded, focused, and then be able to attend to their child very successfully and in a manner that is less frustrating and less stressful. We help our clients to be more aware of their lifestyle, their history, and getting to the root of the sleep challenge. We introduce achievable initial first steps, short-term goals. Usually it's a maximum of 3 realistic timescale goals, acknowledging also long-term goals. We introduce what's called sleep optimizing, providing customized techniques and strategies to help clients learn and discover solutions for themselves and their children. We help them develop an overall plan to incorporate well-being in their daily schedule, maximize an opportunity for optimal sleep, offer objective feedback as a client progresses forward. We maintain their motivation. And if they're struggling to achieve a goal, we will revisit the goal and see if the action steps that were provided need to be more practical, more realistic, if we need to cut them down a little bit, add a substitute or replacement in. And we will address and rework this as much as possible to ensure a positive outcome. Once results are achieved, then consultations are complete. However, we provide our client information on maintenance, and we also provide them information on reaching back out to us whenever they need to. So they can always reach back out if, for example, let's say their child progressed really well, we've achieved the goals, we've uncovered the root cause, and then a few months down the road, their child is going through something, they want to set up a consult, they would contact you again for that. Now, the responsibilities involved in our profession, staying updated on research. And when we do research, it's more than just reading the latest studies and publications on pediatric sleep and the issues and solutions. It's going above and beyond to ensure that we're looking at all sides, because unfortunately, studies can cherry pick data. Studies can involve groups of people that are not necessarily exactly the same. And therefore, while it's giving a specific outcome, if we were to look at it more in detail, we would find that there could be other weighing factors that may have resulted differently if we took those into consideration. So when we stay updated on research, it's ensuring that we remain objective, we take everything into consideration and not just one side of things, that we go above and beyond in our research. We do a bit more digging, especially when you're receiving medical journals and information from different publications that might have a specific spin on them. For example, co-sleeping is a big one. With co-sleeping, usually there's a lot of cherry picking with the information that they put out and the reasons why one should not co-sleep. But if you really start digging and doing your research on the research, you come to find out that about 90 to 92% of co-sleeping safety issues that led to death were due to hazardous circumstances that could have been preventable if families were following co-sleeping safety guidelines. But unfortunately, a lot of this information is put together in one box, and as a result, can be very misleading. Okay, so when we're staying up to date, we're going above and beyond. We're going to tailor our approach. So we're going to evaluate each child's sleep challenges and preferences to customize a plan that works best for their need and the whole family's needs. It's a team-based approach. We're empathetic. We listen compassionately. We validate parents' struggles to build trust and understanding. We hold them accountable, but in a compassionate way. And if a client is struggling, we understand that maybe we need to go back and look at the action steps. Maybe they need another tool to ground themselves to self-regulate. And if it ends up being a situation where their commitment level is no longer the same as where they started, and they've decided that they cannot be committed anymore to the change in the process, then that would be another conversation. And that's also for another course. We discussed that in our main program. Holistic sleep consultants provide a lot of education and strategies, and it's a collaboration between them and their clients. So a holistic sleep consultant is not telling their client, here's what you need to do, A, B, C, D. It's let's discuss what works best for you, taking into consideration everything that the client has shared, and then they will collaborate together to come up with the appropriate action steps. Okay, this way they can manage expectations around timelines, outcomes based on child's age, temperament, sleep environment, and the parents. Tracking progress. So we will monitor and track and record the child's sleep patterns to identify improvements in any ongoing issues. And this also can relate to the parents, right? It goes hand in hand. So usually any child sleep challenge will naturally be a challenge for the parent, or vice versa. If the parent is struggling with implementing something, that obviously will affect the child. So it goes both ways. And we track the progress because most times clients, and unfortunately mainstream sleep consultants as well, are so focused on the goal that they often miss the progress and highlighting the progress, because it's the progress that then leads to the successful goal outcome. Our organization, the International Parenting and Health Institute, is the first professional organization to introduce the holistic sleep approach in 2011 for child sleep consultants that begin during pregnancy, and provides training, certification, and continuing education. Prior to our program, there had not existed a child sleep consultant certification program for professionals that began during pregnancy. And because of my background, I have such an extensive background, not only in coaching, but in the health and fitness industry and prevention, I questioned why sleep was not covered during pregnancy, knowing that child's sleep patterns and child's sleep development begins during pregnancy, and also understanding that the mother's overall well-being is going to influence her child. So we're the first organization to introduce that program, and we have many graduates around the world, as I mentioned, in 61 countries, who are now advocating and providing support beginning during pregnancy. Holistic science of sleep method, which I shared before, I introduced through our program, provides a practical and realistic responsive approach that supports the whole child and family to help parents connect with and understand their child's needs. Being attentive to a child's physical, emotional, and development needs holistically leads to better sleep for the entire family. Everything is connected. We're all living in the household, everything's connected. And that is, again, why we follow a team-based approach. So what this looks like is we evaluate quite a few things. We look at the way one breathes and their breathing patterns, how they're well hydrated, their food intake / nutrition, their sleep, not just the child's sleep, the parent's sleep, how much light, specifically sunlight, they're getting, movement, right? So activity level. We look at the psychology. Even though we do not diagnose, we do not treat, we do not examine, we don't do any of those things. What we do is we evaluate where they are at with their emotions, beliefs, and thoughts, as we may need to refer out, but we also understand that that can impact how they are perceiving their current child sleep challenge, their own challenges, and then as a result, we can provide better support. We address stress management. We look at the energetic tempo, meaning what is the energetic pattern of the home in general and of each individual? What is their temperament like, right? And how's everybody relating to one another? We look at the physical environment, not only of the bedroom, but of the whole home. And then we invite intuition. And see, what happens often is that when people are so bombarded with a lot of information, they can make it a habit to rely on external information. And while external information is very valuable, our intuitive guidance and wisdom is just as valuable. And when a parent is in front of their child and their child is sending them a message through their body language, through their tone of voice, through their cry, for example, a parent can reference something that they learned, right? So they can reference something that they read about or were told. However, if a parent is in tune with their child and present with their child, in that moment, there's so much that a child can teach a parent. So we want to invite that in just as much as the knowledge that we have about sleep. So this is it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's what we call based on sleep optimizing. We understand that sleep is a natural function of the human body that does not need to be taught or trained. It's a matter of investigating the root of the sleep challenge and addressing the things that are interfering with the body's natural rhythms, homeostasis, and inviting a lifestyle for adults and children that supports sleep. And then I just put in bullet points pretty much what we discussed before. Okay, part of the evaluation, the thorough evaluation that we do, involves evaluating anything that may be medical therapeutic issues that need to be ruled out and referred out, current physical and emotional states, sleep history and health history. So what led your client to where they are today? If it's for their child, and then the client as well. Lifestyle evaluation, the quality of breath, their stress level and general attitude toward life, the quality of relationships in the home if living with others, right? It could be nuclear family, extended family, and so on. So what are the quality of those relationships? How does everybody get along? All of that impacts our nervous system, impacts our emotions, and our response. Physical bedroom and home environment. This will include lighting, room temperature, air quality, and so on. Sleep and wake time patterns during the week and weekends. Nutrition, food and drink intake. So we do look at anti and pro-sleep foods and take that into consideration. It's more than just for adults, obviously caffeine, alcohol intake. For children, it could be food insensitivities. When we're talking about, especially postpartum and during breastfeeding, what mom is putting in her body also passes on to her child. So then we do a thorough evaluation on that nutrition as well. Overall activity level, work schedule in a 24-hour period and consistent basis. If the mom has returned back to work, or if the father is stay at home or is returned back to work, there can be obviously a number of different family dynamics, right? Can be 2 women in the home, 2 men, and so on and so forth. Recent medical visits, medications, and any diagnosis to assess physical health, possible food or other sensitivities, intolerances, allergies that would be diagnosed by a highly qualified medical professional. And what a highly qualified program will teach you, which is what our program teaches you, and my expectation is other programs would teach you this as well, is how to know and pick up on the symptoms that you would need to refer out for your client, but without labeling them, because that can be a liability for a number of reasons. And so knowing and understanding how to pick up on certain kinds of language, what signs to look for, that then it is very clear you would need to refer out, so that then the proper medical professional can diagnose and label. We cover beliefs, expectations, and behavior regarding sleep. And if applicable, depending on the case, your client, whether it's for the child or adult, may have a qualified medical practitioner provide a full blood panel checking for any chemical imbalances, vitamin deficiencies, for example, iron deficiency, magnesium deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, and so on, that may inhibit sleep. Practical application. To become a sleep consultant or sleep coach, especially if you're going to call yourself a holistic one, it requires a lot of time. My first recommendation for all of you is to ensure that the program that you are enrolled in is a program that is providing you practical application and not just theory. You want to set yourself up for success from the very beginning. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're memorizing many things and you have all the knowledge, but then when it comes to applying that knowledge, that's another skill set that you have to learn along the way. But if a program is already providing you that, then you're going to be prepared from the get-go. You're not going to have to be experimenting on your clients. It takes time. Like I've mentioned, been coaching for over 25 years, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning so much from my clients. So it takes time, it takes practice, it takes experience. The best certification programs go beyond theory and memory-based exams and offer hands-on practical training to help you build your coaching skills. Practical experience is crucial for applying the knowledge learned in real life and coaching situations. Our organization, for example, provides hands-on online mentoring to support our students. We work with a large number of case studies so that each student, we ensure that they're excelling and properly applying what they're learning from us and that they're confidently prepared to work with their clients. We also require that our students work with volunteers in real-life case studies. And then we have those volunteers provide us direct feedback to ensure that everything that they've learned is being properly applied and that the client also has a positive experience with our holistic methodology. And this works on both fronts because it shows and proves that our holistic methodology works and is having positive results, and at the same time is helping to build confidence in the sleep consultant and coach. All right, your typical fees for initial consultation would usually be anywhere from $100 to $200 per hour. Now, sometimes I do see people charging less, 85, even 75, as low as 75. And I will also see people charging $250 to $300 per hour. This will vary in a number of factors. I may be launching, because I do a lot of business coaching, and I also mentor so much of our students and graduates on pricing and on the business side. On the Udemy platform, I may be launching something like that as well. So if you are interested, feel free to provide me your feedback, let me know, and I may be putting that out as well if you want to learn more about how to structure your pricing. But this is a typical fee. Customized sleep plans are around $300 to $500. Ongoing support may be $50 to $150 per week. However, with every price, you want to take in consideration your time, and you want to be very, very clear with what the price includes. Okay, so when you are working with families, setting expectations is very important. And from the get-go, even before you start your first paid consultation and you're just initially getting to know each other and seeing if you're going to work together and if you're a right fit, you want to ensure that they align with your holistic approach, right? That the goals that they have match, that they are committed to change, right? All these expectations from the very beginning, we want to set them so that later on, we're preventing any issues and expectations that were not discussed. Communicating regularly is very important. Scheduling check-ins, usually when I'm meeting with the client for the first time, and again, depending on their case, I will first meet with them, have the first session. Within 24 hours, I'll do a check-in to see how they're doing after our first session. Then I usually will follow up after 3 days. Then I meet with them for a weekly check-in. And then after that, it's just weekly, right? Every week until until we reach our goal, attain our goal. But of course, we're focused also on progression. Addressing concerns. I ensure that my clients know that I'm always available to address concerns, meaning that obviously we need to schedule a time within my calendar to discuss any concerns, but that I am available and welcome and open to addressing concerns that they may have. Celebrating progress. Parents beat themselves up so easily. The majority of us are self-critics. So celebrating the progress, helping them stay focused, seeing the positive things that are happening is going to be very helpful in maintaining their motivation, maintaining their engagement, and helping them move forward to achieve their goals. And then, of course, making adjustments. We want to be flexible and willing to tweak their plan with their child if something isn't working for their child or for them. What's really great about our profession is that with sleep on the child side, but more importantly, sleep on the parent side, and relief, the lowering of the stress, just the weight and the tension off their shoulders, parents will feel more confident, less stressed, and better bonded with their child so they can show up better for their child. As children sleep better and develop a deeper bond with their parents, they feel more safe and secure. As a result, children's developmental process strengthens and improves their well-being, leading to contentment and rest for the whole family. And it's such a great reward. So that is what so many of our graduates come back and tell us, is that the experience that they have with their clients goes above and beyond sleep. Their clients tell them how much more productive they are during the day, the improvement of the relationship with their spouse or partner, excuse me, the improvement with their relationship with their child. So sleep is improving upon sleep is what brings us together, but it extends to their overall life. When the volunteer clients send in their evaluation forms directly to us, the majority of the forms say, having a sleep consultant and coach who was there to listen to me, who gave me confidence, who I felt relief with, who I felt heard and acknowledged with. I mean, this is the kind of feedback we receive directly from their volunteers. And I also personally have as well. But I'm sharing with you because we've had thousands of graduates. And so that's the kind of feedback we receive. It goes, again, way, way beyond sleep. So the improved outcomes extends. This completes the first module. And now we're going to move on to module 2, where I'm going to talk about the history of the child sleep consultant profession and the controversies that are involved.